Hey there guys, my name is Ams Chowdhury. I'm the co-founder of OffScript, and today I'm going to be taking you through our platform, giving you insight into the features and things that we're going to be shipping directly to you. So if you're watching this video, you're one of the very few who've got early access to this if you subscribe now. The one thing I'm adamant on is I don't want people who are just curious about this looking through the platform or signing up or even subscribing. It's for the people who are genuinely committed to pivoting their careers. As I've said in the email that you've just received, I don't expect you to be here in 2027. I expect you to be in a new role. So let's dive straight into the platform. So you've had a look at the landing page, I hope. So it is exactly what it says on the tin. The idea is to help you leave clinical and move into industry. Some of the major problems that we see is that people are applying with generic healthcare CVs and the industry doesn't understand them. Your skills, sometimes they're buried. Sometimes we've forgotten what we've done in university, what internships we've been on, what particular projects we've done. And we've forgotten to put that down for a very particular job. And sometimes those skills or those experiences, they're not relevant to particular jobs. So you need to tailor each one to it. And of course, when it comes down and we've gotten the interview, some of us are literally tanking that. So we need to solve all of those things. That's what an end-to-end system does, right? Right the way from discovery all the way to getting into your new role. And these are a list of companies that you could be working at. That's just a video explaining all of that. This is an example of what we mean by translation, right? Stuff that we say as healthcare professionals means nothing in industry. We need to translate it into their language. Just an example here. And then the 4 main points that we're working on. Now, interestingly, it says coming soon here. We've actually completed it and you'll be getting this if you sign up. So let's start off with the Career Explorer because I think that's the first thing. A lot of us don't even know what we want to do. I asked someone, where do you want to pivot into? They said finance. And I asked it was a doctor. I asked them, have you thought of clinical product management, health tech? Have you thought about Have you thought about being a clinical safety officer? There's so much more you can actually do by still staying in a healthcare capacity, right? So we need people to know about what's actually out there before deciding a complete different industry where you're starting from literally scratch. The Career Explorer involves you actually speaking to our AI agent. You'll be speaking directly to it, and it will literally take in and then suggest things that you can do and will give you a full report on how you can actually make that pivot. I will show you the reports that it comes up with. And then let's move on to the next thing that you're going to want is the discovery problem, right? A lot of us don't know where to find jobs, right? You're on LinkedIn, Indeed, Read. What's relevant to us as healthcare professionals? I find that a real pain. When I'm putting this stuff out on my TikTok, it takes me hours. So what we started off with was this. I used this jobs board and everything is in one place and I simply record videos and put it out on my TikTok. So I save hours and hours by doing just that. The next thing is applications. When you're going to make an application, it needs to be tailored. It's super important. You submitting an irrelevant clinical CV to a job it doesn't actually get to a human. Companies are using what we call an ATS system. It screens it for certain keywords. And if you're not a good fit, scraps it. The recruiter doesn't even see you. We've got to make sure we tailor it for you. And it can take forever. So how about we do this the right way? How about we do it by saving time? Then interview prep. Again, you get to sit with our AI and it will directly interview you, grill you. And so you walk into the interview having answered every single question that could probably be asked. So this is our robust 4 features right now, and we are ready to also release, actually, if you're watching this right now, our instant apply system. So we've got a system that is going to be applying once you've done the CV. You don't have to go off and reapply and submit it and fill out extra questions. It will do it for you. So let me just log in. So this is a live dashboard because I've been testing it. I've been doing some applications and seeing how it works for you guys. So in terms of a quick top level summary, what you're going to be getting is some quick metrics on what jobs you've saved, how many tailored CVs you've done, and how many sessions you've actually engaged with our AI. Now we've put a Kanban board. A Kanban board is a great way to just basically monitor the progress. Look, if you're committed to this, you're going to be doing a lot of applications. You need to be able to track it and see what are you just saving and bookmarking whilst you're on the tube. What have you actually got around to producing a tailored application? We are not a sort of spamming company. We are not going to spam recruiters. Our job is to get you into industry, right? So you need to be seeing what you're saving, you're working on to get the CV tailored. And then once you've applied, are you practicing for the interview? So this is a quick view of your tracker. We've got some quick actions. So generate your CV, your jobs board, and as I've said, ready for you guys actually, the Career Explorer and the interview system that we've got as well. So this is our education center. We've done a lot of stuff when it comes to just learning about the industry. interviews, podcasts, blogs and articles. So for example, the one I need you all to read is What is an ATS? You need to know how hirers are doing it. It's useless for you to do a one-sided application. You need to understand what is the recruiter doing so you can match. Super important. So this is our education center. And finally, what you can see here is some reports. This is from the career clarity sessions. So this is where you're sitting with the AI, you don't know what you want to do, and it's going to give you a report. And I will show you the report in a moment. I just want to show you how it presents itself. So this is several sessions that the team have done to make sure it's robust and that we're shipping it correctly. So let's start from scratch. Let's assume that you're a healthcare professional and you don't know what you want to do. So the first thing I would do if I came onto this platform is let's go through the Career Clarity Explorer session, right? You can chat to it for 1 minute, you can chat to it for 5 minutes, you can chat to it for 15 minutes or even more, okay? And I'm going to show you what it does. So let's go through the session and see how it works with.
Hey, I'm Alex from OffScript. I'm here to help you think through your career options outside of clinical work. There's no right or wrong here. Wherever you are in your thinking is a great place to start. So tell me, what's going on for you right now?
So I'm an F2 doctor. I've just finished my foundation year training and quite frankly, I'm thinking about industry. I've seen a lot of people move into industry. I don't know what I want to do yet, but I know that the NHS doesn't feel right for me at this moment.
That is a completely valid place to be. And honestly, finishing your foundation years is a natural time to take a breath and look at the horizon. It sounds like you've been seeing others make the move and it sparked that what if feeling for you. Since the NHS doesn't feel like the right fit at the moment, what are the main things that are pushing you toward a change? Is it more about the day-to-day work environment, or are you looking for a different kind of challenge?
I guess I'm looking for the environment. I want to be in an industry setting. One of the areas that really interests me is the health tech industry and the pharmaceutical industry. And of course, one of the things that does matter to me is my pay. I do want to be paid well and compensated rightly for my time.
That makes total sense. And it is refreshing to be clear about wanting a professional environment where your time and expertise are valued financially. Both health tech and pharma are fantastic options for that, though they do feel quite different day to day. Health tech often has that fast-paced startup energy where you might be helping build a product, whereas pharma tends to be more structured with very clear, lucrative career ladders in areas like medical affairs. When you think about your ideal workday, do you see yourself more in a collaborative, evolving team environment? Or do you prefer having a very defined, high-level expert role?
So I'm willing to work in like a startup. I know that requires a lot of hours. I know that requires real hustle energy. But I'm also open to just working in, say, a pharmaceutical company where I'm working 9 to 5, 5 days a week, get all my weekends off. I don't mind that. But really and truly, it's just, I want to go into industry. That's what I want. I want to go to industry.
Completely hear you. And that drive to just get into an industry setting is a great starting point. It sounds like you're at a stage where you're ready for a professional shift and you're open to different paces, whether it's the high energy hustle of a startup or the more structured 9 to 5 of a pharmaceutical company. Since you've mentioned both health tech and pharma, I'm curious if there's a particular part of your medical training in acute medicine that you actually find yourself enjoying. For example, do you like the fast-paced problem solving? Or is it more about the data and the evidence behind the treatments?
I like the data and the evidence about the treatments. I like being able to take complex information, translate it, give it to patients, and they understand what to do with it too. So I like that process. Someone did mention medical writing for me. I do think that also sounds very interesting.
That is a really important insight because the ability to translate complex data into something clear and actionable is a massive asset in industry. Medical writing is a fantastic entry point because it directly uses that skill. And there is high demand for doctors who can bridge the gap between heavy science and clear communication. In pharma, this often looks like medical affairs or regulatory writing, while in health tech, you might be shaping the clinical content for an app or a platform. Since you enjoy the evidence and data side so much, do you find you're more drawn to the idea of creating educational content for other professionals? Or does the idea of working on the strategy behind a new drug or digital product sound more
So you can see here that it's now started to guide me. It started to pick out what I liked, and then it realized that I liked the translation process. So it's probably going to take me down the medical writing route, right? Regulatory writing and looking through medical content on the pharma side, or I might be in the startup world for health tech, since I said those two industries. I'm going to end it here. You get the picture of what it's exactly doing now. And what it's doing now is that now it's going to produce this report. I want you to look carefully at the report, okay? Because I think this is literal gold for people who are really in the gray zone and want to know more. So have a look here. So your personalized career blueprint. So it gives you a quick profile view of who you are, right? It understands what drives you, what are your transferable skills. So I mentioned that I can take data, the ECGs, the blood reports, the chest x-rays, and then complex information translation, right? So it realized that there's some of the transferable skills I've got. It looked at some of the core values that I hold. So I did mention that I want to be paid properly, right? Work-life balance. I mentioned 9 to 5 at one point. So as I predicted, right, this platform has been built with the knowledge I have, but also the knowledge of leading experts around the world at leading companies. So it picked up that I like the translation process. So the medical writing role is something that it's picked up. The MSL role, clinical product management. And what it's done, it's directly now linked it to some live job ads right now. If I wanted to dive in and do some applications, I could do that right now. And then it's given you some steps on what to do next. So that was step one, right? It's all about clarity. So let's take you into step two now. Step two naturally is people don't know where to find jobs, or if they do, it's scattered across the whole universe, right? LinkedIn, Reed, Indeed, Welcome to the Jungle, Google Jobs. The jobs board are endless. It can take forever. And most of us healthcare professionals, the truth is we are still working, and we are working a lot of hours. Some of us might be parents, some of us are carers. We have multiple different roles that we're occupying, so we don't have 15 hours a day to be spent on just searching. So let's go into step two. Okay, let's talk through the jobs board now. The jobs board is exactly what you imagine. This is nothing new. The pain we are solving here is just bringing everything into one place, okay? And you can also apply from here. That's the ease that we want you to have, right? So instead of going to every single other platform to find these health tech jobs, pharma jobs, content jobs, medical writing jobs, and all the other industries that are relevant to you, right? It's in one place. This is tailored for healthcare professionals. If you're not a healthcare professional, you shouldn't be using us. Simple. So in terms of some of the jobs that are out there, you can see mid-market account executive, staff product manager at Manual. You can see some of the companies that are hiring, Helios X, Heidi, Manual, they're all very known. These are some of the popular ones that are literally recruiting right now. You've got the founder's associate role at Anima. So yeah, you can find the jobs that interest you. You open the job, it will give you the job description and everything with it. Okay, now, as I said, end-to-end system, right? So what's the next step? Creating a tailored CV. So what I'm going to do now is literally apply for this job. You cannot use OffScript if you wish here, right? You've seen the job. You can go off and you can do your own thing, right? But I want to solve the pain for you with an end-to-end system, right? So you can begin the process of your application literally right now and do it properly, or you can just go off to the website. So this button over here will take you off to Anima. This one will start the process of application properly for you. So you can create a tailored CV. So now is the application phase. So I've chosen Anima. I'm going to apply to the founder's associate role. And what it asks me is you can either upload your existing CV or you can use our wizard, right? You can fill everything in on the wizard itself. So I'm going to upload one of my existing CVs. Now, on the other side, right, say you found a job elsewhere and it's not on here. You can paste the job description or the link. But if it's something from our jobs board, it's already done that job for you. So you don't need to do that, okay? So I'm going to upload one of my own CVs. I've just uploaded my CV, it's ready for analysis, it knows what job I want to apply for, it's going to now analyze that to see if I'm a good match or not and tell me where the gaps are. So let's start. Okay, so now what we're looking at is an analysis of the CV itself. So I uploaded a CV, it knows what job I want to go for, and it's given me a match score. So this is really important because this is how ATS systems rule you out. You don't do none of this, throw you out the window, another candidate is on top of you. All right? So look at the feedback. So the candidate's background as a doctor and founder makes them uniquely mission aligned for Anima, but they must demonstrate that they can handle grunt work like the support triage and automation setup. Now, being a founder's associate, it's a grunt role. It's a real hustle energy self. It's an intense generic role for you to really get involved. So it understands that you really have to demonstrate the grunt work that you're ready for. So in terms of priority actions, it's talking about demonstrating that I've upskilled myself in no-code automation. I need to quantify some of the SaaS metrics I mentioned on the CV. And I need to highlight that I've got excellence in support, right? Because they want someone to provide support. It's got some requirements that it's highlighted. And it said stuff that I might be a weak match, stuff that's missing. You can see what's essential, what's desirable, what's bonus. You can see what's implicitly required for this particular role. And the goal is for you to start plugging that, okay? So what the next step is that our system will start speaking to you, right? To unearth whether you have some of this, and then we'll start to fix that CV for you. So if you actually are thinking right now, like for example, I am thinking of this right now, is that I know how to use no-code automation. I know how to build a lot of stuff. So I wanted to fix that, for example, right? So that's the next step. So let's start fixing that. So this is an introduction now, okay? So it's listed 16 things that it needs to go through with me. You can decide if you want to go through all 16 or not. You can decide, you know what, screw it. I want to put in the actual CV that I wrote, or you can take its advice. This is your choice now, okay? So it's asked me, while I saw you've successfully grown a user base, I'm curious, you've ever had to manage things like customer health scores or structured processes to prevent users from leaving churn? Yes, I have. So yes, I have. I've submitted that now, and what it will do now, it will take that in, it will take that experience in, that I used to hold a monthly AMA session, I used to answer FAQs, users would love it, and then I would give it to the engineering team to produce more features, right? And so now you can see, that's a great example of building a feedback loop with your users and the engineering team. So now what it's going to do is going to dig in to get that detail out to produce that tailored CV. Now what you can do is you can pause and save the session and come back to it. So you can do it in between the hours and times that you have, or you can skip it all, okay? It's up to you. So you can skip all the questions if you wish. So I've literally said, let's skip all questions, let's generate that CV. So obviously I haven't sat down and gone through all 16 things, right? So it will come up with a CV. So I'm going to blur this bit out because I don't want my CV out in the public, but it generates a CV for you. And what you can do is you can then edit it as you like on screen. You can move things around. You can do basically everything you expect to be able to do with a document that's being presented to you. It's even given you an ATS score at this. So having not done the 16 things that it's recommended, it's still a score of 70. That's excellent compatibility. I would most likely get through the ATS system and would get to the end. Now what you can do uniquely on our platform, we're still testing it and everything, but it will go live for you guys, is you can auto apply now. So what I can do is literally submit it here. So I click the button and I submit. Now what you can also do, you can download the CV and then go off to the company website, or if you want to use it elsewhere, you want to print it off, you can do all of that as well. And that's the experience. So the end point is application. So you would want to apply, right? So you would click auto apply, confirm apply, and what it does, it submits the application for you. What it's also doing is that, remember the dashboard I saw you, that Kanban board of a tracker, is updating it. So it's taking it through the flow. So you know where that job is going to end up. So the job that we just applied for together is the founder's associate role. So that's under the applied banner here now. And you can see the CV that you submitted. And you can see each CV here is going to be different. So there's 4 different jobs here, right? Each one of them will have a slightly different CV. So say now you've got an interview lined up, right? So the executive assistant to the co-founder of HealthTech One, they're actually recruiting right now as well. So now in terms of interview practice for the executive assistant job at HealthTech One. So I've uploaded the link for the job itself, and I'm going to upload one of my CVs. I'm just going to put in the company name, HealthTech One. I just want to do a quick practice session. You can do different. You can sit and you can actually really go through a grilling process if you want. So let's start the interview.
Hi there, I'm Sarah, and I'll be conducting your practice interview today. Thanks so much for taking the time to prepare. That shows real dedication. Before we jump in, how are you feeling about today's session?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready for this interview. Let's go.
That's great to hear, Dr. Choudhury. Let's begin. Could you give me a brief overview of your career so far, particularly highlighting your journey from an A&E senior registrar to a HealthTech co-CEO, and what brings you to this point?
That's good. He knows a lot. Okay, so what I am is, I was a medical doctor, qualified as a medical doctor back in 2018. I then decided to found my own company, decided to support pharmaceutical companies, deliver medical education for doctors across the country. I've now taken a pivot in my career. I really want to learn about coding and how to automate processes in healthcare. And I think doing this particular executive assistant job would be great for my career at this moment.
Thank you for that overview. It's interesting to hear about your path and your current focus on coding and automation in healthcare. Your background is incredibly accomplished and unique. What specifically about the executive assistant role at HealthTech One appeals to you? And how do you envision your extensive clinical and entrepreneurial leadership experiences translating into success in a supportive executive assistant capacity?
So as an executive assistant, with my experience as a founder, I hope that I could help the co-founders build out their product actually. I think I could get involved, help them with feature development, user feedback loops. I think I can get involved with the business model they have. I think I can go out and make sales. I think I can really operate well in a very grey, undefined role like one that I'm applying for.
I see. Your vision for the role is quite broad. Could you elaborate on what aspects of a supportive role you find most engaging, given your extensive background in leadership and building products?
See, this is really important. So the interviewer has picked up that I've got a very extensive history working in companies and stuff. And working as an assistant might not work because it's picked up that I want to do a lot of the executive functions, stuff that the co-founders themselves should be doing, right? They want an assistant. They want someone who organizes, arranges meetings, and is essentially going to power the co-founders, not become like the co-founder itself. But yeah, so you can go through all of that and then you can end the interview, right? You go through the question and grilling period. You get what's happening here. So you can see that it's picked up very well on my CV. So yeah, what we're looking through now is a report on that interview session. So you can see that it's only scored me 1.5 out of 5. It's because I just left, right? So it's identified some of the top strengths, the areas that I need to improve. It will tell you the competency areas. So I scored very low, right? Because I didn't even explain any of the culture ads, self-awareness, mission alignment. These are things they're going to want. So this is gold. It's training you to know what the recruiter or the interviewer is looking for. It'll give me a breakdown of how I answered particular questions, how I used the STAR method. The STAR method, I'm sure all of you know now. Look, it even picked up clinical jargon that you might have used. And yeah, so you can interview practice here. There you go. From your dashboard, you can access all the reports, the tailored CVs, track the jobs. You can dive into the education center, and you can genuinely start to pivot your career. So yeah, you've got the opportunity to sign up today. All right, I've shown you what it is. I've told you what it is. You can lock the price in. It is going to go up on public release. All right, all of this is undercharging it for what we've done, especially with the AI credits that we have to pay for. But it's there for the serious. It's not for if you're curious. All right. I hope to see you. You'll be on an onboarding call with me, a coaching strategy call with me, and a LinkedIn optimization session for me. And that's only for the first 50 people. After that, I just simply don't have time for it. So yeah, I'll hopefully see you on the call.